Well, folks, for some reason it dropped at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. I'm not really sure why, but we finally have our next teaser for the upcoming Jurassic World Evolution 2 DLC, the Species Pack, coming at some point relatively soon, we assume. I'm going to play that teaser for you right now. Now, whilst it's all very good and exciting that we got to see the Megalodon again, we got a much better look at it this time. We can see its in-game model at least a little bit. The most important thing is, of course, on this screenshot here, however, Kelp has finally been added to the game, one of the most oft requested features. It's probably part of the free update that will come along with the DLC. I'd be very surprised if it's part of the DLC, given how widely requested it is and stuff like this tends to be part of the update. So that's really exciting for two reasons. First of all, it tells us that we are going to get a free update with the next DLC. Of course, the last DLC didn't have a free update whatsoever, so we were hoping to get some cool stuff in the next one. And the second thing is, it's Kelp. It's a really big deal. The reason is it makes our lagoons, and you can see it already here, it makes our lagoons look a lot more interesting, a lot more lifelike. It gives them some much needed verticality. This Kelp is clearly quite tall. You can see here that it's substantially taller than our viewing dome kind of thingamajiggy. It's stretching towards the very top of the lagoon. You can see if you watch the video that it does sort of sway side to side slightly in the water. It looks like it's being buffeted by the current of the water. I'll be curious to see how much we can stack this together, and also whether it reacts to our animals trying to swim through it, which I suspect is maybe part of the reason they didn't have it in the game in the first place. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, very exciting news. Kelp has finally made it into Evolution 2. What a wonderful day. But of course, we did get a glimpse of the Megalodon as well. We can see it here with its sleek, sort of slightly two-tone coloration here. You can see it's got this two sort of shades of grey going along the body, and then we've got these sporadic dots as well in various shapes and sizes. The dorsal fin is interesting because it is very similar. If I bring up a great white shark, you can have a look at the dorsal fin, and it's a very common shape among sharks anyway, it must be said. It's got a similar shape. It's a little bit more streamlined, a little, pointing a little bit further back, and there's a bit more of a curve in that little cut at the back end of it. The pattern's really interesting though, because this kind of pattern, it's kind of like a leopard shark, but it's not a pattern we would see very often on larger sharks. This is something you would see on the smaller fish. Your large sharks, your hammerheads, your great whites, your bull sharks, your tiger sharks don't really have strong patterning like this, so that's really interesting. The only other thing we really see, of course, is the caudal fin. That's the tail fin here at the back, and it's safe to say this is a different shape entirely than the great white. My biggest hope for the Megalodon is that they haven't just made it a big great white shark, and this at least gives me a little confidence in that. The great white has a very noticeable sort of hook on its caudal fin, which of course isn't here whatsoever. It's got these curves in it. It feels like it's designed to be aerodynamic and, well, hydrodynamic, I guess would be the word, and that it's made for an effective water-based predator. And it's hard to glean too much from this other than that. You can see, actually, if you look towards the bottom right of that caudal fin, you can see like a little bit of a pattern. Actually, I'm going to bring that up in a bigger image. You can see what looks to be, again, more signs of the pattern for the Megalodon. We've got these splotches kind of moving over the back of the caudal fin, and then you've got this stroke pattern around the outside of those. It's still quite subtle. Hopefully there's some crazy combinations out there as well, but this one's very much got your classic shark colouring. Why this came out 2 p.m. on a Sunday is utterly beyond me. It really is. However, really glad we got a teaser. Kelp confirmed. Free update, sort of 90% confirmed, and our first in-game look at the Megalodon. Very exciting stuff. I would suggest we're probably going to see a trailer and more information this coming week. I'd be very surprised if not. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for joining me. Stick around on the channel for more on the Megalodon and what else is part of this pack. It's got to be a Megalodon, right? It's definitely a Megalodon at this point. Thanks for joining me. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.